Hey guys, so I'm excited to share a new segment on the channel with you titled Analog Hour with Matt and Lucy. You may be familiar with us as a combo. Matt has the podcast Matt Loves Cameras, and he is now here over on YouTube, which is really exciting. Matt and I have forged a really nice friendship over the last year, and we've collaborated on a few different projects. We have been talking about setting something up where we catch up monthly and we talk about what's in the pipeline for us content-wise, what's happening in film photography, what we've been shooting, and anything else that's on our mind that we want to share with you, the film community. Matt and I have our own podcasts where we interview people or do solo episodes, camera reviews, and that sort of thing. It's a little bit more planned. This analog hour is supposed to be a casual catch-up between two friends, just chatting film photography and probably a few other things as well. So I really hope you enjoy this pilot episode. Be sure to comment and let me know what you thought, or if you have any suggestions for things that you'd like us to be discussing in this new show. This will be a monthly occurrence on the channel, so keep an eye out for the next episode coming soon, and make sure you go over to Matt Loves Cameras on YouTube. I've linked it below, and subscribe and give him some love over there on his YouTube channel. All right, let's get into it. Hello, welcome to the pilot episode of the Analog Hour with Matt and Lucy. I have Matt Murray of Matt Loves Cameras here with me today. I'm super excited. We've been planning this for a little while now, and it's finally happening. How are you feeling, Matt?
I'm very well, thanks, Lucy. How are you on this beautiful Monday?
I'm pretty good. Yeah, it's quite cold in the studio, so I'm wrapped up here. We've got some cold weather in Queensland at the moment, haven't we?
Well, for us, anytime it goes beyond 20 degrees Celsius, below 20 degrees, it's officially freezing. So we need to rug up here. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, I'm really excited. We've got a lot on the agenda today, and we're going to try and keep it to an hour, which is a real challenge for us because we both love to talk. So let's see how we go. So I want to start off with discussing what we've both been shooting lately. So what have you been shooting, Matt?
Well, this weekend was a bit quiet, so I'll tell you about last weekend. Last weekend, I got out there with the new Cinestill 400D film.
Oh, yes.
It just arrived from California, so it was very exciting. I had one roll in my Fujifilm Class S. I shot at box speed, and I had another roll I put in my Natura. The Natura, you can't set the film speed manually, so I put a ISO 1600 sticker on it. And I shot that at ISO 1600, so it's 2 stops underexposed. And then I asked my lab, Ikigai Film Lab down there in Melbourne, to push it 2 stops. And the results look fantastic. It's a really interesting film. There's quite a lot of halation on it in the daylight. Some of the shots at box speed, my kids looked a bit overexposed and a bit bright, so I'll have to be wary of that for next time. But the pushed shots, I've just done 2 videos, one about the box speed roll and one about the push 2 stops roll. And the ones that were pushed in the Natura look absolutely fantastic. I just love them. So I sent 3 rolls down last week, those 2 rolls, and I shot another roll of ADUX Color Mission in my Contax T3. And then this weekend, I'm trying to find my props here. This weekend, when I saw you yesterday briefly.
Yes, we saw each other very briefly. Yep.
I only had one camera. I left the house with one camera. So I left the house with this little one. It's Canon Sure Shot. So that's a cute little camera because we went to SeaWorld on the Gold Coast, and I just wanted a camera I could fit in my pocket. And so I only took about 3 or 4 shots yesterday. So not really a busy weekend compared to last weekend with the Cinestill. What about you?
Yeah. We've had a pretty quiet weekend shooting wise because we've been busy with more sort of content stuff. But I have in the last few weeks I shot a roll of Fuji C200 in that Canon XL that I have. I think I've sent you, that real big chunky point and shoot. I've shot a few rolls through it before, and they looked really so good. So I just wanted to get a range of different photos so I can do an episode on it to show it tested in different environments. So shot that. So there'll be a video coming soon on that, of course.
Awesome.
It's such an interesting camera. It's so cool. And I also shot some Portrait 800, which I think is the first roll for me. I don't think I've ever shot that film before. Lux shot some portraits of me on it on New Year's Eve, and they came out really cool. So we ended up buying a brick of it, and which wasn't cheap, but
well, there was once upon a time when I wouldn't buy Kodak Portra 800 because it was quite expensive. But then Lomo 800 was the go-to stock for 800 film shooters. But then Lomo increased their prices quite substantially with that. And so it got to a stage where it doesn't actually matter now in price-wise, Lomo 800 or Portra 800.
Or Portra, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I do really like it. And I've never shot Lomo 800 either. So, but yeah, I'm excited to see those. And Lux also shot some Portra 800 through his new Leica that I got him for his birthday that he's extremely happy with.
Yep.
Like is it R4S? It's so bad, I don't even remember. And he's got his Leica lens on it that he got for like
nice,
super cheap on Marketplace. So he'll be excited to see the results from those. They're also at Ikigai. And that's pretty much it really. I think there was a few other rolls I sent off that were like Pro Image 100 that I shot in Palm Beach. But I think I told you already on Instagram that I thought it was going to be a really sunny day. So I was like, Pro Image 100 will be fine. And it just was like concrete skies, like really grim day. And I was in Palm Beach shooting all these like retro buildings. This was I think it was last Monday.
Oh, right, sure.
So I had the morning to myself. You know when you get those like rare few hours and you're out with like, and you've got cameras loaded up with film and you're ready to go. And it was just like such a grim day. So I was so annoyed, but I thought I'm just going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
And just, whatever happens, at least I got to shoot. And I got lots of cool shots of like, because a lot of the buildings are being knocked down there now that have like the old signs and stuff.
Yeah.
Like they're similar to what we shot in our video, like that kind of area for our like overseas listeners. But yeah, so excited to get those back from Ikigai. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Haven't really shot this weekend, but I feel like we had shot a lot. So kind of happened in bulk. So yeah, cool.
Actually, I'm just thinking the only other shots I did this weekend were I got 4 Polaroids up here, and I always forget which film I have in each. So I shot one of my son yesterday with his crazy hair. It's one, and I thought, cute. I've got round frames in there. So I think hopefully I made a note on that camera. I'll put a little post-it note in the back to which film I have in there, because I'm always forgetting which film I have in my Polaroid cameras.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's easy to. If I shoot Polaroid, I tend to leave it in there for a while because I sort of wait for something that's Polaroid worthy because it's so expensive. So yeah.
Well, this film is this was fresh from the factory, but it's kind of getting a bit of a pacification on it now. So I feel like I just got to shoot the rest of that roll and then put a fresh one in from the fridge, I think.
Definitely. You don't want to leave it in there for too long, for sure. Yeah. Awesome. Love the round frame. That's cool. Cool. So what have you bought, sold, or borrowed?
Well, I sold a nice little point and shoot the other day to a lovely young lady, so that was cool.
Awesome.
And she'd shot with film before. I think she'd lost her camera, and then she bought one off me, and I just showed her a little bit about it in case she didn't know the model. So that was good. That was a little bit of money coming in. But then the other night, it was on June the 1st, Orwo actually opened up their online shop for their new color cinema film, Orwo NC500. So I was very excited for that. It was actually all throughout June the 1st, I'd sort of been going on at lunchtime after work and just refreshing the page. Is it up for sale yet? No, it's not. And then I think we were watching Stranger Things that night, and it was about 11 o'clock. I was really tired, and I'm about to go to bed. And I just thought, I better check. And of course, they had the film up for sale. And I sort of sat there like a zombie. I was so tired. But I sort of sat there for about 20 minutes fiddling with how many rolls of film I had in my cart. The shipping from Orwo in Germany to Australia is like 31 euros. So if you do one roll or 100 rolls, it's 31 euros. So it doesn't make sense to order small quantities. So in the end, I was like, how many do I order? Do I order 20? Do I order 30? Do I order 50? Then I worked out that 50 rolls of film at 15 euros is 650 euros, which must be close to 1,000 Australian dollars.
Oh my God, Matthew.
I don't really want to spend that much. So I ordered 20 rolls thinking, well, probably want about 10 for myself, and I'll see if I can shift the rest. I think I let Ryan Park know. Ryan's very interested. He's got a YouTube channel, and he's very interested perhaps in buying some off me. So yeah, I'll see who else. If I can't sell them, I'll put them up on a Facebook group or something and try and flog them that way.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that you'll have no trouble. People are so desperate for film, and then a new film as well. Like, oh my God,
it is a little bit expensive though. 15 euros a roll. Like ADOX Color Mission here was only 10 euros a roll, and that's a really nice film. 15 euros. Look, I mean, Orwo, it's the first color Orwo film for 50 years, more or less.
Yeah.
So I don't want to begrudge them. You know, obviously they need to make money and put it back in R&D. So if that's the cost, that's the cost.
Yeah.
And the only other thing I bought now,
you can edit a cough out. That's okay.
It's still a bit froggy, which is funny. Sorry, I just had a moment there where I was a bit froggy in my throat, which is funny because one of the next cameras I've got to show you here. It's not easy being green.
Oh my God, Kermit the Frog camera.
If you watch my YouTube channel so far, you'll know that I love my Contax T3, my Fujifilm Class S, my Fujifilm Natura. But the other side of me is the side of me that loves these toy cameras. Okay, now a toy camera is not just one that has like a cartoon character or a funny character on it for kids. It can be any sort of camera that has very limited way to change the shutter speed or the aperture. Usually toy cameras have, you know, fixed shutter speed, fixed aperture. So, you know, a Holga is a toy camera, you know, a Vivitar, those Vivitar plastic pano cameras are toy cameras, Ansco Pix are toy cameras. So I love these cameras. I've got this Kermit one here I'll be featuring soon on my channel. I've also got this is one of my favorite cameras of all time. It cost me $2 on Facebook Marketplace. It's the Robot 3-lens camera.
That's like so cheap. $2. It's so
$2,
like such a cool little camera.
It's almost like, why would you bother listing something on Facebook for $2?
Yes,
you know what I mean? Like, what's not worth the bother?
When people have something up for like $1 or even $5, I'm like, oh, is it even worth it? Like messaging people for that? Yeah, but I mean, I'm glad they did because that's really cool. Very cool.
I do love toy cameras. And the other day, I think I saw a Facebook post. I think it was by, I can't remember the name, but it was an Instagram account. I think it's like Yorkshire Camera or West Yorkshire Camera. I'm not sure. But they feature really cool cameras on their Instagram page, and they had a Pingu looking camera. Of course, Pingu is the penguin, Newt, you know.
Yes, I remember as a child. Yes, the show. Yeah,
it came out when I was a teenager, and I remember watching it like after school, high school, and uni, and thinking like, what language are they speaking? You know, because ABC here in Australia used to feature, before SBS came along, they used to feature foreign language sort of stuff quite often. But I remember watching it going, what are they talking? Are they talking Icelandic or something? In the end, I've actually done some research, Lucy, and they're actually talking Penguinese. They actually talk Penguinese. So that's what Pingu talks. He talks Penguinese. So that is Penguinese. So I saw this penguin camera. And I actually went on eBay and I found one in the UK. Now it's not really a Pingu camera. It's called something like Pingo. It's like a complete rip-off, basically. Not Pingu, Pingo.
Oh,
okay. So I did buy the Pingo camera, the penguin camera. So and the gentleman assured me that it's winding on and firing. And so yeah, the postage was a bit. Usually from the UK, like you would not pay more than £20 to ship a camera from the UK to Australia. Like if it's a small compact camera, a toy camera, point and shoot, £20 is the absolute maximum. Somewhere between £12 and £20 usually. The postage on this was £38, so I had to message the guy and say, hey, why is the postage £38?
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah,
a lot. I think it was like he'd done it automatically, and eBay just set the figure.
Yeah.
So in the end, he relisted it, and the postage was £20. The camera was £25. Completely paying over the odds here, but we've got a good exchange rate against the pound at the moment. And I thought, well, why the hell not?
Why not? Why not?
You only live once.
Yes, you only live once. Get that Pingo camera. Yeah. Yeah, it's bringing back lots of memories for me, and like the way they talk, Penguinese.
Yeah,
I feel like my son sounds like that because he's not talking yet. He'll say a few things, but he's sort of going like he's got his like own little language that he just gets around with. So I'll have to put some Pingu on and see if he likes it. There's a YouTube channel.
There's a Pingu YouTube channel, and I actually found out you can. I went onto this website where you can type in any show you want, any movie, and it tells you what streaming service it's on.
Okay.
And Pingu's not on any streaming services, but you can buy them through Apple TV. And I think I'm going to buy the second series of Pingu because it's There's an episode. I think it's season 2, episode 11 from memory. Pingu and the camera.
Oh.
And Pingu goes around taking photos. So that's a must watch.
A must watch. I'll show that to Luca and try and indoctrinate him into
absolutely
liking photography through children's programs.
That's right.
Yes, it sounds good. And you've sold, you've bought, you haven't borrowed anything?
No, I can't. No.
I mean, it's not as common, but I have borrowed from you.
Yes, you have.
Yes.
You have.
I borrowed your Olympus Pen F half frame.
Yep,
camera.
Pen FT. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Pen FT. Yeah, I've wanted to shoot half frame for so long now, and I get so many people in the comments suggesting it to me, saying I think this will really be like, you will really love this. So I'm really excited to use it, and it's beautiful as well. It's a lot heavier than I sort of
all
thought it would
metal.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's really cool. So I'm thinking of putting Ektar in that, and
Nice.
doing an episode, of course.
Did you after I gave it to you, did you play around with it again?
Yes. Well, I didn't, but Lux did straight away.
Light meter?
I showed him it, and he had the manual up on
Yeah.
computer, and he was like, oh, getting into his zone like he does.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just want to use it. So,
Yeah.
but he said that he said that he doesn't think it's working, or if it's working, it's really inaccurate, like the light meter. So
what happened was I had a few years ago I had a Pen FT, and I was down the park, and my dog, I've got a Dalmatian, he's a big hulking massive beast, Marshall the Dalmatian.
Yep.
And he pulled me, and I dropped the camera onto my foot. It only dropped about half a meter or foot and a half.
Yeah.
Dropped onto my foot, and then it rolled on the grass. I was like, oh, okay, the camera's fine. But then for some reason the light meter stopped working. I was absolutely devastated, because at that time, this is a couple of years ago, I was unemployed for 4 months, and I was devastated because I couldn't afford to fix it. In the end, I just kind of marked it down and sold it online, and I bought a brand new one from Japan with a working light meter. Worked absolutely perfectly. I get out the car on Sunday, and I show Lucy Lumen how to use the camera. Like, you take the lens cap off. It's through the lens kind of metering. So as soon as you take the lens cap off, the battery's working. There's like a little needle. And you look through it. It was working fine. I opened at the back and just showed you the back of the camera. Closed it back up. The light meter stopped working, and I'm like,
I know. I feel like such bad luck. Like, I'm bad luck. I
not
literally
at all.
turned up, and it was like not working.
It was working when you looked through it, and then when I looked through it, and then I opened up the back, closed the back up, and it wasn't working. Unfortunately, with the Pen FT cameras, you will get a lot from Japan where the meter isn't working. Most people, it doesn't phase most people. They don't care. For me, I like simplicity, and if I can look through a camera, the viewfinder, and it says number 3, and you change the aperture ring to number 3 or number 5 or whatever it says, that to me is really simplistic way of shooting, and I love that. So I'm a bit bummed that the light meter went, but hey, that's life.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. Another
it's not you.
But well, I hope not. But yeah, I'll give it a go and see. I mean, it might just, like, I don't know, start working again or whatever. But I did like the idea of just matching up the numbers.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I'm even more simple than you with shooting. Like, I want it to be as easy as possible. Yeah. But I'm sure I'll be able to, like, I'll make it work.
And it's a manual focus as well. But you shoot about f8 anyway, don't you? So
yeah, pretty much all the time. Yeah. I like focusing. That's like the only thing I like doing. But everything else,
I hate focusing.
I like that, but
I'm too blind these days.
Yeah, I am finding it a little bit harder. It used to be like, I've noticed a few frames on rolls lately have been out of focus, which is really unusual for me. Like, I sort of pride myself on my ability to focus. But I've recently got glasses, so I think I'm about to turn 30. So it's all
it's all downhill from there. Bloody hell.
Yeah, but I'm excited to use that. So thank you for lending it to me.
No worries.
And I also got some. I'm
so sorry. I just remembered you gave me a lovely copy of Low Key Zine yesterday.
Oh yes, I forgot about that too. Yeah,
it's still in the boot in my car. I forgot about it. So we had a big day out.
You'll have to get that out and have a read.
It looks really good. Looks amazing.
It's really, really cool. Yeah, it's like a Melbourne-based zine. I think it started during lockdown. That's the third issue, and it's free. You just pay for shipping, and you can order it. They do international shipping as well. It's a bit more expensive, but But yeah, really cool, like free zine, and they do open calls for submissions on their Instagram. So I'll link that so people can check it out, because there's no theme or anything. It's just like submit your photos, which I really like because sometimes I find that kind of hard to fit in,
Sometimes I think Half Frame is an Instagram account called Half Frame Club, HFC, and they do a zine, and that's really cool. It's just like I think the last time I saw the call out, it was a triplet of photos, so 3 photos.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is really cool. So you got 3 half frame photos and put them in Photoshop and sent them in as images. And I think I got 3 in the last scene, which is really cool.
Oh, awesome.
But other times when you hear, sometimes other publications in the analog photography world put out this call for entries, and it sounds really cool, and you read it, and it's something like really super arty-farty, and you're like, I don't even know what that means. How am I supposed to take a photo that represents that? But I mean,
Yes,
maybe that's just me,
yeah.
but
No, I feel like that too. I like it simple. Like if it's themed, it's really simple.
yeah.
Or just like submit your photos and then maybe you like, I'll often look at the Instagram or
To get the
whatever
vibe.
to get a vibe of like what they kind of like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like low key are pretty diverse. Like
That's good.
so yeah,
Pretty low key.
they're pretty low key. Yeah, exactly. That's probably where they got the name from. But yeah, I hope you enjoy the zine, and I love the little cartoon film canister guy on the back. And I think there's a rumor that maybe there'll be some merch with that on it. So I'm sure our film shooters will be straight onto that.
Frothing.
Yes, frothing. Yeah, absolutely. So and I also got some film from you. Because you do the big orders of all the film, the Cinestill 400D and ADOX color mission. So I'll be shooting those soon. I'm really excited to
and
see both of those. Yeah.
So yeah, I've had delivered the Cinestill 400D and the ADOX color mission, which I have handily right here. I'm waiting. I think Ancient Shadow should be coming anytime soon.
Yeah.
And then I think Turquoise was supposed to ship in June.
Yep.
So that should be arriving soon. And then in July, the Wolfen should ship. That's really hard to say. The Wolfen should ship in July. So it's going to be a great few months. And then
it's just the back coming in from all angles and all continents. And
then there's nothing to look forward to. After July, it's all
it's all down here. I'm turning 30. There's been no more new film.
When is your 30th birthday?
October 17th.
Wow.
Yes. Yep.
Excellent.
So yes. I think we're going to go to Noosa, I think.
Noosa?
So, yes, we're going to go to Noosa. Take some photos in Noosa. Yeah, it'll be nice.
I had some lovely photos. Here's a nice little segue. Some lovely photos on the Contax T3 and the Fujifilm Class S taken at Noosa in one of my videos. My second ADOX color mission video. Yes, beautiful spot. I do remember lovely spot.
Yeah, Noosa's so nice. We went there for when I was pregnant. For our baby moon. Are you familiar with that concept? I wasn't until I was pregnant. It's like your honeymoon, but like your baby moon. So you go away before you have a baby because
you won't have time afterwards.
You don't know yet how little time you're going to have. Everybody tells you, but you don't really understand until you do it.
No. Well, we drove around Europe for 6 months in a motorhome. And then about a month from the end, we discovered that Sarah was pregnant. And so that was kind of our baby moon and everything all in one. And she was throwing up everywhere in our motorhome. Oh my
God, poor Sarah. Jesus. Yeah.
So I don't think we had one. I think when my son was born, we were living in Australia then, and basically she was full-time looking after our little terror of a child. And my daughter's beautiful now, but she was absolute terror as a child. Not mean or nasty, but she was just always on, you know what I mean?
Yep, that's like mine. Yep.
She used to stand at the gate. We used to put her in a bedroom and put a little child gate, and she used to stand at the gate going, "Daddy, Daddy," when she's supposed to go to bed. So Sarah had her hands full with that, and then I was just working all the time trying to earn money, so we didn't have a chance for a baby moon. We should have maybe, but we didn't.
Oh, you'll have to make up for it now, and I don't know, just go. I suppose you could just go on holiday. All these things are all kind of,
we had a date night the other night, but it lasted for about 5 hours, and that was it. And we were going to get the kids to stay with mum and dad's, but it was just too. I don't know. It was too much hassle, and
it's really hard. And then you do it, and then you kind of miss them. Like I'm always like, oh God, I want my own time, and then I get it. Like this morning, my mum took Luca for like an hour before she started work, and we were both because Lux doesn't work on Mondays.
Yeah.
And so we were sitting there, and we were like, oh wow. But then we just sat there and drank our coffee and we didn't know what to do.
That's nice sometimes. That's good sometimes, just to not do anything.
Yeah, it is. Definitely.
Yeah,
for sure. Especially with all this content we've got going on and like work and family. It's just like crazy. So busy.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what I don't think I've bought anything.
You bought the film off me.
Yeah, bought the film off you. Oh no, we bought some film from Fuji film from Digi
C200.
Yeah, C200 and
good price.
Fuji Extra 400.
Oh yeah, I was going to buy some of that, but I didn't because I've got this 400 speed film. I didn't get any. I probably should have though.
Yeah, just because 400 seems a bit more difficult to find at the moment, and like I'll often have just heaps of like 100 or 800 and nothing in the middle. So I thought I'd grab some of that. So got that came this morning. So that feels really nice to. It like eases your anxiety when you can sort of fill the fridge back up, and you've got it there and you feel secure.
Yeah.
So bought that, and that was a really good price. Thank you to Matthew Joseph for letting us know about that.
Heads up.
Yep. Photo Dudens. that's pretty much it from me, really. We've bought lots of stuff for the, it was Lux's birthday not that long ago, and he got money for his birthday, and
Nice.
he bought loads of like accessories for the XT4. So it's got like, which is what we use to film our videos. So I'm going to get all this wrong, and he's going to be like, that's not what it is, but whatever. There's like some kind of rig, small rig, I think the brand is. And like, yeah, he can hold it now, and it basically looks like he's using like a gimbal. Because the footage is really steady.
Yeah.
So it looks really good. We've got a video coming up, and you know, I've seen the footage and I'm like, wow, that looks very cinematic.
Yeah.
So that's exciting for him, and he loves all that sort of that side of it. So
yeah.
But other than that, we haven't really bought anything, but I do cap the camera buying, you know. I'm a bit like, do we need
the gatekeeper?
That? I'm the gatekeeper.
So it's L35 AF, yes.
Oh, Leica, if it's that,
no.
Yes, anytime Lux shows me that, I'm like, oh, message them and see if we can, even if it's in Brisbane, because I'm looking to, I just always want to grow my L35 collection. For sure.
Well, he messaged me the other day and he said there's an L35 in this group of cameras, and I looked it up, but it was at Albany Creek, which is like, I mean, Brisbane is physically, if people don't know this, Brisbane is physically a big place.
Oh, it's
Albany
huge,
Creek's got to be about an hour from where I live.
Oh,
I was like, do I want to travel an hour? And then it wasn't a very good picture of the cameras, and it looked like they were in a shed or something. I thought,
it did.
With Queensland weather, they're going to be full of dirt or fungus. I mean, they might not have been, but I'm not going to spend 2 hours driving. You know, because I've been there so many times before. Yeah, and I've got this Weathermatic. You know the Minolta Weathermatics, the nice bright. I've got one on the floor.
Yep.
So I bought one once. I had a quick look at it. It looked great. I bought it. I got it home. Oh my gosh, it looks like 1,000 batteries exploded.
Oh no, like really oxidized and
terrible. So I've cleaned it like 3 or 4 times, and it just doesn't work. But I can't. I don't know. I can't bring myself to throw it in the bin, which is stupid, and no one will buy it, because who the hell wants to buy a crappy? I mean, maybe someone will buy it for parts, but what, they're going to buy it for $10? What's the point? I guess I could put it on my shelf, but
that's kind of it's an interesting looking camera.
I don't usually. Do you keep invalid cameras? That sounds horrible, but do you keep broken cameras and just put them on your shelf? Because I generally don't. If they don't work, I get rid of them. Either I sell them for parts, or I put them in the bin, or give them away. I don't want them.
We keep them. We keep them. We've got lots of point and shoots that don't work, and we have them all like kind of behind me.
Point and shoot graveyard.
Yes, it's very much a graveyard. Plastic point and shoot graveyard.
Is that a film beanie?
It's a Walkins, Walkins Film in Melbourne. They did those beanies last year, I think. So we got and it says Walkins Film, because they're like their logo and their stickers and stuff are like so cool. So I haven't
seen Lucy Limon in the beanie yet.
No, it hasn't been that cold yet, but maybe in the next video, or maybe in the next analog hour. That's probably will end up being 2 hours.
What about?
I'll chuck it on.
Have you got a beret?
I think I do, actually. Yes, I used to wear berets a lot when I was in my teen early 20s. I definitely rocked the beret.
Rocked the beret. My daughter has a beret she used to wear.
Yes. Yeah.
It's actually a raspberry beret. It's a red.
Oh, like Prince.
Correct the
Prince song. Yes. Yeah. Great song. Okay, so what's up next on the agenda? So I haven't. Oh, and answering your question about the keeping film cameras. Yes, we do point and shoots, and then also we have a Nikon F4. Oh yeah, it doesn't work.
Backdoor.
I think that. I can't remember. I don't know. There's a few things wrong with it, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's your grudge. That's your grudge against Lux, isn't it? Wasted our money.
Oh my god! I think he bought it, but it had a bunch of lenses with it as well, and the lenses are worth a lot. But I am just not interested in lenses. Like, I'm like, boring. I want a camera. Like, I know that it will make a difference. And and I know they're worth, and you could sell them and all of that, but they just don't excite me like at all. So
it's a bit like a fairy tale, isn't it? Like, Lucy gave Lux the money to go to the market to buy shopping for your child, and he come back with a broken F4.
Oh my god, yes, that's what it's like. Yes, yeah. Well, he's rarely on his own. So, and when we're in an op shop or a charity shop, I keep a close eye on him. Yes,
well, there's nothing. I guess this is a topic for discussion later on, but I've given up on Marketplace almost entirely, and I've given up on op shops, because I used to find that there was a very good cost benefit with putting time into scouring marketplace and going to op shops. It used to be a good cost benefit. You put time in, but you get rewarded with a $5 point and shoot or a $50 SX70.
Yep.
Now people realize how much film cameras are worth, and good on them. I'm not begrudging them that. Unfortunately, they overprice cameras, a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
Op shops, if they ever do have any more here in Australia, op shop, of course, is a charity shop, or what do you call it? A charity shop or a thrift store.
Yeah. Yep.
So quite often in Australia, I'd say the last 18 months, I've barely seen a camera in thrift stores anymore over here.
Yeah.
And marketplace is just, the times when you do see a really good deal, like there was some old gentleman selling some Leicas out near Ipswich, I think quite away from me. And I think he had multiple ones with multiple lenses, and he had it for $500 or something crazy. And of course, the poor guy would have got absolutely deluged with hundreds of, messages. So you're not even in the hunt unless you go to him and say, hey, mate, these aren't worth $500. These are worth way more. I'll come and price them and give you a fair price. Unless you do that, you're not even in the hunt. So I basically just given up. You guys still do it?
We do. We look on marketplace a lot, but we buy like considerably less than we used to, because like, exactly like you say, unless you see it, like at the second that it goes up and you message and you're like, I'll come now and get it, which we have done before. We did it 6 months ago or something. I remember messaging you. We got like 10 point and shoots for like $50 or something like that. And there was like like a Sure Shot 76 zoom. There was a Nikon L35, like the TW.
Yes.
There was a couple of other Minolta zoom sort of ones, but they're like, not bad. And then the Canon waterproof. Like that as so. I mean,
Sure Shot,
amazing.
AS1.
Like I'm happy with that for the rest of my life, pretty much. Like that's deal of a lifetime for me. But that just doesn't happen anymore. No. And we got him literally as soon as he uploaded it. We messaged him, and that's the only reason that we got it. Otherwise, he, like you say, he would have just been bombarded with messages. So
that's right.
And also, as soon as people just look something up online and they see these ridiculous eBay prices, and it's just I feel like those days are kind of gone.
Yeah.
But op shops, I think, or thrift stores, I think, can still be good, but as long as it's not like a named one. Like somebody commented this actually on one of my videos the other day, and I was like, I said, like, you are right. They said don't go to Salvos, don't go to Lifeline, Vinnies, because they are kind of, they've got people in there now that sort of curate things, and
I think they put them on eBay. Whereas
they do,
I completely agree with that. If you're going to go to an op shop, go to one that's not named.
And go to a church one. Like they're really good. Like the ones attached to the church, they're always really cheap. Little old lady in there, and she'll, like just like what an op shop, charity shop, thrift store, whatever you want to call it, should be. Yeah, like that's what in my mind, like that's what it should be.
And the ones in the country as well are really good. I love the op shop, the thrift stores, op shops, charity shops you go into where, like, it's all ramshackle. There's just stuff everywhere.
Yes,
like the ones in the city, they're all like books, clothes, CDs, toys, and as soon as they go into one, I just go, there's not going to be anything in here. It's boring. But you go into these ones in the country, like we went down to some in Warwick last August, and it's just like a massive building shed full of junk everywhere, and it's sort of vaguely sorted into areas, but you kind of have the feeling of like, I might just find something in here. And I found a couple of little plastic point and shoots for 50 cents. They weren't great. I think I've still got them over there somewhere. But, like it's a kind of feeling of you're actually going through trash and treasure.
Yep, and you might find something.
That's right.
Yeah, the excitement of that for sure. Yeah, it's the same with record stores. Has the same vibe. Like when I lived in Melbourne, there was a few record stores that it was all new.
Yeah,
which was good if you wanted to get something that's just come out, and you knew that it wasn't going to be scratched and all of that.
Yeah.
But it never had the same vibe. And then you go to one where it's like this old guy and he's had it for ages, and there's secondhand, there's crates everywhere and they're all piled up and you've got to look through, and it's such a different feeling.
Yeah,
and I
absolutely.
think that's definitely, and I feel like film photographers like that feeling, like they very much want that. So, but it doesn't, it's less and less, I think. And I think that goes for everything too. Like everything you see now is like that's retro or slightly retro or vintagey looking is just like more expensive, because that kind of thing is getting really popular in general, like that nostalgia thing, which I think is partly why film photography has gotten popular.
Sure. So absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. So we definitely went off course there, but I feel like that's totally fine. So
I'll be docked 5 points in the final points tally for
Oh, I think it's good to
topic not on list of topics.
No. I think it's good to like we wanted to do this because we chat a lot on Instagram. Like we voice message each other pretty much every day, and we're always like, we talk a little bit about this and then a little bit about this. And I think it's nice to kind of share that with the rest of the film community.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure they have the same worries or gripes or, you know, like all these sorts of things. So that's good. But I will go back to the agenda. So what's happening with you content wise, Matt? You have been like pumping out the YouTube videos. I'm so impressed. So yeah, how's that going? What's in the pipeline?
It's going really well. It's a weird thing because once you cross over, like obviously I've had my podcast Matt Loves Cameras for must be 4 years now, and it's kind of like a new challenge for me doing YouTube. I posted my first one probably 6 weeks, almost 2 months ago now. I can't remember, and since then I think I did the second one straight away. Then there was a bit of a gap between the third one, but then I've got 6 up there now, and I've actually posted 3 new videos in the last week.
Oh my God.
I know 3 videos 1 week. So
congratulations.
Thank you. So about a week ago, I posted one with all of the new films, like these 2, and 8 new films ranked, which is actually doing really well. I'm actually pleased. I sort of forgot about it, and then it seems to have gone really well. And then as soon as this 400D arrived, I knew I had to get out there and shoot it and do some videos on it, which was fantastic. And the team at Ikigai, Peter, he sent me the files on late Friday afternoon, and he put in a little text file in the Dropbox, ready for the weekend. So I thought that was pretty cool. So I did one video on Saturday. It took me, oh my gosh, it's just such a different world, like recording a video, because I recorded the video, everyone went out, I think my daughter's got a job now, which is great. She works at a little sushi place nearby.
She got the job?
Great.
That's awesome.
She works at a sushi place.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, she has her own money. It's such a good feeling.
Oh, so that's but it's funny, when she was 13, like it was like, I want a job. And then as soon as she's got a job, it was like, hey, you got work tomorrow morning? She's like,
oh no.
Yeah, that's right. It's like that Smith song, I was looking for a job,
and then I found a job.
Heaven knows I'm miserable now.
Yes. I used to sing that like in my head at work, like all the time. Yeah, 100%.
So, but no, she does like a job, by the way. She doesn't really like a job. She's not miserable, but it's kind of like, oh, I've got to work tomorrow. I can't, sit at home and watch Netflix all day.
Yeah. Welcome to the real world, Elodie.
What was I talking about?
You were talking about YouTube and
So I sat down in the room just out there, and because there's not many places in my house to record, so I sat out there and recorded a video. I watched it back and I kept tripping over my words. I couldn't do it. My hair was my hair's messy now, but it was completely messy. And I got the video and I was like, no, I'm doing it again. So everyone went out again. I trapped my son in the Fortnite room and said, you have to be quiet. No screaming at Fortnite. Yeah. And I did them all again in 25 minutes. And then it took the rest of the day. It must have taken me, the first video, the Cinestill video, it must have taken me 3 or 4 hours. I just wasn't happy with it. Had to edit it. And then, so I did that one. It was a real, like, oh my gosh, really trudging through to get it out there. But I put that out on Saturday night. You and Lux helped me with the thumbnail and the title, which is great. Thank you. So I put that one out there. And then we got home. We went out for the day yesterday. We went down the Gold Coast, went and saw you briefly. And we went to SeaWorld and went on a few rides in SeaWorld. Got back in the afternoon and... Well, actually, the first thing on Sunday morning, my son wanted to get up at 5:30 in the morning on a Sunday morning.
Oh God!
Because there was a Fortnite. Yeah. Well, there's a Fortnite live event. He would have slept until 8:30. Okay. But there was a Fortnite live event. He wanted to get up at 5:30, so I got up at 5:30. So we got up, turned all the computers on, his Xbox, my computer for the live event. Didn't start till 6. And so it only lasted 15 minutes and it really was not worth getting up for. I love Fortnite. It wasn't worth getting up for though. So we were up very early. And so then Fortnite went down after that for the whole day. So when we got back from the Gold Coast, there is a point to this story, by the way. We got back from the Gold Coast. I'm like, I just want to have a cup of coffee, right? Cup of coffee and play a game of mindless Fortnite for an hour. But it was down. It was down until like 11 o'clock last night. And my son couldn't play it. And then I thought, what can I do? My wife and my daughter are watching Happy Ever After, or some TV series about like real life fairy tale characters or something. They're hooked on it. There's 7 series. So they basically took over the TV. So I got on the computer and in about 2 hours, I just edited the Natura Cinestill 400D push 2 stops video, and I scheduled that for this morning, and it went out. So yeah, I felt like after the pain of the first Cinestill video, I just couldn't edit it right. The second one just fell into place really well. But I think there is, I mean, I've been podcasting for 4 years, but I think there's a certain, I don't know, there's a whole new bunch of skills you have to learn when you're doing video.
Absolutely.
And it's a real learning curve, but I feel like I'm enjoying it, and it's great.
I feel like you're doing so well. And I was talking to Hashim before he went on holiday, because I'm trying not to bother him. I was going to ask him a bunch of questions about live streaming, and I was like, you're on holiday, I'll leave you alone, I'll wait till you come back. But yeah, I was saying like how good you are on camera, and he said, oh, it must be like, not all of it, but like doing podcasting obviously has helped you you know, be able to like plan, because I think there's a lot of planning that needs to happen for like YouTube videos and podcasts, that people kind of neglect that step. And like I feel like you're just so confident on camera. Like when I started, like the first like cringe, which is good. I said this on my podcast with Kerry, like if you're not cringing, then you're not like learning or improving. So it's good and it's fine. But I was like really nervous, like looking away from the camera and all of that. And you're really confident. So you're doing such a good job. And I think you've got to just keep putting out videos at the start. So I think you're on the right track there, doing that. And it's so nice to have you over on YouTube. It's really exciting.
That's the other thing. Like, I mean, I've watched YouTube a million times in the last, how many, I don't know, 10, 15 years, or how long it's been around. I've watched YouTube. You need to find out how to fix your toilet, or you need to find out how to get a leader. You need to learn, I hate these things, these leader retrievers, but you need to learn, how the hell do I use this? Because it doesn't work. And then the guy's done a YouTube video. Every time I need to use this, I watch his YouTube video because I can't remember. So I've watched YouTube a million times, right? But what I didn't realize really until I started creating content and having a channel is the ecosystem around it, and the shorts and the posts and all the stuff that goes with it. I just had no idea about it. So I don't feel like I'm a very YouTubey person yet. I'm still trying to get in the zone of it,
you'll become a YouTubey person, Matt. You're well on your way. I'm like, I feel like YouTube takes up so much of my life and my headspace, and like I look at other people and I'm like, do they think about YouTube this much? Like, because they're just always, we like looking at the analytics, and we like coming up with ideas, and and we watch a lot of YouTube as well. So like, especially in the film photography space. So it's very consuming, but I feel like it's good. I feel like it's a good hobby to have alongside film photography, because it gives you it gives me a bit of structure. Like, I'm shooting a roll. Oh, why am I shooting this roll? Like, it makes me think about it a little bit more, because I'm thinking about how it's going to translate into a video.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it keeps me going. And I definitely shoot more now, because I've got that intention of it turning into a video, which really works for me. A lot of people it doesn't work for, because they're like, oh, the pressure, and especially if you're on your own as well, and you've got to then do all of it. Like, I'm very lucky, because I have somebody doing like half or more maybe of the work. So
that's the thing. Like, you don't, obviously I do it all by myself. So I would love to do one of those videos that you do, where you go out and you're following you around, and you see you in front of a building, then you take the shot and you see the shot. And I know other YouTubers do that as well. But for me, I've actually done that when I've been out and I've taken like B-roll of like, here's a scene at Wynnum at the seaside of the lights at Wynnum, and then I take the shot. But I haven't really incorporated that into my videos yet, because I just find it almost too hard to do at the moment. Like, I'm just trying to get videos out, and it seems more complex for me to do that. So I might do that eventually. I'd love to do it, but it's a massive learning curve, really.
Definitely. I think that'll come. I think it's good to not overload yourself, and then it becomes unenjoyable, because then people stop doing it, because they're like, I can't meet all these expectations, and then they stop. Whereas if you just sort of find your groove, do what you can, do what's like enjoyable for you, and that is like a reasonable expectation, and then like you'll have success, and then you're like, oh, okay, I might like step it up a little bit and do this. Like, that's kind of that's what we did over like a year. So I think you're on the right track, and you've got the right like attitude for sure. This might be a good time to mention I've told you about it already, and I've spoken to a few people about it in the film community, but I'm going to start, or I have started, a Discord server.
Are
you on Discord? Are you in any Discord servers, Matt?
Yeah, I'm on one for f-stoppers, but I've actually got a couple of articles ready for f-stoppers I haven't posted yet, but there's a group there for the writers, and I have been on there before. I think like Emulsive have one and Sunny 16, but I don't really go into them anymore. I'm not sure. I haven't been on for a while, but I feel sometimes unless you have a core group of very dedicated people, it's tricky to get traction.
Definitely. Yeah. I'm in a few, like the Analog Talk one, because I'm a patron of theirs. And then a couple of other people have invited me to them, which is really awesome. But I don't like, I feel like by the time I get into them, I'm like, oh, I don't really know what's going on anymore because there's this big conversation and all of that. So, and it's very hard. Like I try and get back to all the comments and I try and get back to like people who DM me. So I feel a bit stretched, but in saying that, I've started my own Discord server, the Lucy Lumen Content Creator Club, is what I've called it. And I'm going to make it a place for
LLCCC.
Yes, and it says that on the little thing, and it sounds like a football. It sounds like a football club, or like a, like how, like I thought that when I saw it. So I'm gonna do that, and it'll be launching in the next few days. Hopefully, I've got Jamie Maldonado in there already.
Sweet.
He's looking at the different channels that you have. Like I've broken it up into sections to try and keep it more ordered. But I want it to be, because there's a lot of film photography Discord servers, and like they're great. But it does a lot of the time, like I do feel a bit disconnected from them because it'll be like, how do I fix this camera? Or like, this is my white whale camera, or, or developing, like people talk about developing, and those things just aren't super relevant to me and what I'm into. But I'm really into like talking about, like creating content around photography. So I thought if there was this place for like people who want to start a YouTube channel, or they want to start a podcast, or they want to start writing or create some kind of content around photography, that have this Discord group that they can join, they can ask questions, get advice. Because there's so many things with YouTube. Like, I know when you started, I was like, oh, don't forget you've got to do an end screen. And you were like, what's an end screen? And then I was trying to explain it to you, and I was like, oh, it's actually really difficult to explain. And then, Lux and I were trying to, like tell you, and then that's just scraping the surface. Like there's so many things. There's like audio, which camera do you use? We were talking about before with like reflections, or like it took us so long to figure that stuff out. And I really wish there was somewhere where I could have gone like a helpline to be like, hey, what do I do with this? So I'm hoping that this can serve as that, and I'll try and be in there as much as possible for people. So if you're listening and you're interested, definitely send me a message or comment, and I'll send an invite. I'm not like super au fait with how Discord works either, so it's going to be a bit of a learning curve for me, getting on there, but I'm sure it'll be easy enough, and I'm sure people can help me as well. Like I'm excited to learn from other people.
Help me, help you.
Help me, help you. Yeah, let's help. Everybody helps everybody else. It's nice.
You had me at Lucy Lumen.
Oh, lovely. So that's what I've got coming up content wise, and then I've got an Ektar video coming out soon. I shot Ektar 100 at night. With the flash and a point and shoot, and I thought it looked really cool. So sharing that, really good song in that video from Lux Lumen as well.
Excellent.
And he started his
YouTube channel.
Yeah, he's got his own. He was like, oh, Lucy Lumen, what about Lux Lumen? He's got his own YouTube channel, which is really cool for his music. It's sort of just like playlists, and people can, I think Ikigai said they had it on in the lab. I was like, that's cool. So I'll leave that below as well, so people can check it out and they can listen to his music. I think he's gonna put more stuff up there, like it's mostly synthwave. He's going to do guitar and then do different sort of styles of music, and we will be doing like a little music video clip, because I love music videos. From watching Rage when I was like a teenager and stuff, staying up video hits or whatever, like video clips are like really iconic, and I'd love to I always wanted to be in a video clip, but I wasn't in a band, so it was a bit difficult. So now I can fulfill that dream with the Lux Lumen channel. So that's exciting. That's coming up, and I think we've always got lots of videos in the pipeline, as I'm sure you do. Like you've got ideas for videos,
loads,
just endless. Like I've got a list, and I'm just always adding to it. So but it's hard to find the time to actually execute it. But
I feel like a lot of my videos at the moment are around, like I've actually got 2 about ADOX color mission, 2 about Cinestill, and 1 about film rating. So I feel like I've done way too many videos so far about film, so I'm keen to sort of look at my list and, what ideas have I got that are not about film, like not about an actual film stock, but rather about a camera or about something different. So I think I'll be doing that next.
Yeah, awesome. You have like such like wide range of knowledge of cameras, and you own so many, and so that's definitely something that you should be sharing with the community for sure. I'm just looking at our agenda. So I feel like we've nicely gone off on lots of tangents. I'm really happy with that. So I think we should talk about the we were talking about the other day, the new Rito camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
what are your thoughts on that, Matt?
So yeah, there's this new Kodak branded camera that's come out, which is called the Kodak Ektar H35 half frame camera. And it looks very much like one of those Instamatic sort of, 126 cameras from the 60s.
Yep.
So it's a, very retro looking thing. It's made by Rito. Of course, there's quite a few sort of Kodak reusable plastic cameras now. Some of them are made by Sino-Promise, who are a company that sort of bought one of Kodak's paper, I think, divisions last year or the year before, and they also make Kodak reusable cameras under license. So there's a couple of cameras they've got out. They're like full frame 35mm reusable, very simple cameras, Kodak branded, but they're made by Sino-Promise. This new one's made by Rito, who of course made the newest ultra wide and slim clone.
Yeah. Yep.
So it looks interesting. It does look nice. It's got, again, it is a, essentially it is a toy camera. It fits the definition for that. I think it's got a fixed aperture speed, fixed shutter speed and fixed aperture. I can't speak. So I've got the deets here. It's optic. It's got 22mm length, 22mm. I can't speak, Lucy Lemon. 22mm lens. I can't speak like that.
I find this so hard. This is like, because I'm really bad with terrible with numbers.
Yeah.
Or so it's like when you talk about the specs of a camera in a YouTube video, especially early days, I was like, oh, I have to do that. Like I have to say that because that's what everyone else does. Whereas now I just don't really bother because it's like, it doesn't really matter. And I'm like, this camera has it's like everything comes over and I can't do it and I get it wrong, or I get the f-stop mixed up with the millimeter of the lens, and then I'm like, oh, blah. So don't worry. This is what
I'll say it another way.
The
focal length is 22mm. There you go.
There you go.
But it's interesting with half frame cameras, I think, because the lens is projecting the image onto half of the frame. I think it sounds really wide, 22mm, but I think there's some kind of crop factor there as well.
Okay.
It's a fixed f9.5 aperture, a 2-element optical grade acrylic lens, which is a fancy way for saying it's plastic.
Plastic, yep.
And the shutter is 1/100th of a second. It's got a built-in flash, and you need a AAA battery for that. Only weighs 100 grams. I think it looks good. But there's one thing that's really interesting about this. I find a little bit odd. So when you're shooting half a frame, obviously you've got like your frame of film there, right?
Yeah.
So like a full frame of film, and then this is a half frame. So it's that way. It's going through the back of the camera and half a frame at a time. So usually with a half frame camera like my little Hello Kitty one here, the film goes across there half a frame at a time. The viewfinder on this is actually like a square, and you kind of, it's not exact obviously the viewfinder, but you're sort of framing things up and you're taking your shot. The viewfinder on the back of this new Kodak Ektar half frame camera from Rito is like in landscape orientation, which is weird because the film is actually going through it portrait wise.
Yeah.
So it's weird. I mean,
how that
obviously,
works.
the viewfinder doesn't like match up exactly anyway.
No,
it's probably just a rough guide, but I did find that odd that they would have put a landscape viewfinder in the thing. Yeah,
because you kind of want to have a little bit of an estimate of what it's going to,
that's right, a rough estimate.
Like. Yeah. That's strange. I didn't know that. I literally have not researched it at all. I watched there was a YouTube video. I think it might have been, I'm not sure what channel it was on, but it was just like footage of the cameras, and like showing it. And they looked really cool. Like you say, like really retro. Colors are awesome. Like the
colors are awesome. It comes in a brown, a sort of a yellow sand color, and a greeny sage color.
Yeah.
And really they're on sale for $50 according to this. And I actually found out in Australia they're being sold for 100 Australian dollars, which is a little bit more than $50.
That's a lot.
So I guess the big question is, are you going to buy one, Lucy Lumen?
I don't know. Like $100 is quite a lot. And I don't know like how much I would use it. I love like plastic cameras and like I don't mind. Like I liked using the ultra wide and slim, but I feel like a little bit with the film prices going up and getting so expensive.
Yeah,
you got to kind of cut down somewhere. And also when I'm shooting film, because it is more expensive now and it's harder to come by, so it's like double whammy. I'm getting a little bit more like, oh, do I really want to take a photo of that? Or do I
Yeah.
really want to put like that film in that camera?
Absolutely.
Like, because
Absolutely. I know exactly
I'm
what you
trying to
mean.
think ahead as well. And since I've been selling prints a bit more, which is awesome. It's like, so something
Yeah.
I never thought I would A, do, or B, anyone would buy.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think ahead of that as well, because I'm changing the print shop up every month. So I'm trying to make that my goal of like having at least, 5 or 6 print worthy, hopefully,
Yeah, for sure.
photos every month, because it's like, well, if you're shooting all these, rolls of film all the time, you kind of want to,
Something to show for it other than
other
a
than
YouTube
just,
video about a camera.
yeah. And
Yeah.
and oh, I'm just shooting film, I'm just shooting away. It's like, you kind of may as well shoot like digital.
Yeah.
So from that respect, I'm trying to put film in cameras. Like, I've been using my Nikon F60 a lot. Just because like the metering system's really good in that. I'm really comfortable with it. I know I always like get good photos from that, you know what I mean? Rather than, with point and shoots. I love using point and shoots, but sometimes you got to crop it. Or I think, oh, that would have been really good if it was on a, I don't want to say proper camera, because like that's not something Lucy Lehman would say. I would get angry if someone else said that. But you know what I mean? Like, so I'm trying to think more, be more like mindful. So I don't know if the Rito half frame camera would fit into that. But in saying that, I feel like we say these things and then you see like YouTube videos of people using them and they're having fun and it looks so cool. I'll be like, oh my God, I'm going to buy it. So I don't know. What about you?
I think I might. I'm not sure. See, the place that I found this from, I won't say the name of the company here in Australia, but I think there's probably other companies that might sell it for a little bit less than that $100 mark. $100 is about, 100 Australian dollars is about 70 US. I mean, we pay a little bit more here for stuff than the United States, but I think it seems a little bit much. I would be tempted to buy one just to shoot a roll through. Like, I've already got the Pen FT that I've lent you. I've got this Hello Kitty. This is actually the Superheads golden half. This is quite a cult camera.
Very cute.
It's got Hello Kitty on there, but it is quite a cult camera. So I bought this for about $100 US, which I love. I think I might look at actually buying one of these. Just to see what it's like. And you know what, if I pay $100 for it, I reckon I can get 70 back for it in a Facebook group. And you know what I mean? Like, you take a bit of a hit on it, but it might be worth just playing around, just to see what it's like.
Definitely. I think so. And also, like, even though I've just literally said all of that, I also feel like if there's a new product in the film sphere in any way, I like should buy it, because support it, show them that, like, put your money where your mouth is, because all of us are always complaining, and then something comes out and you're show me the money. So I'll probably will show you the money. I'll probably buy it, because I'll have a weak moment, like in bed, when you're scrolling. That's when I always buy stuff, like I'm like, oh, I'll just get it. So I probably will. And I love the colors too.
The colors are nice.
So I probably will get it, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I have the Rito sent me the 3D.
Oh, awesome.
The 3D camera, which looks so cool. Like, it just looks so awesome. Like, it looks like something out of like Star Wars or something, so I haven't used it yet, just because I'm like, oh, I need to think about it. Like, what am I going to shoot? And I had a 90s dress up party
awesome.
that we were gonna go to, but we all got sick, so we couldn't go. And I was gonna shoot it there, because I thought, there'd be moments like lots of people, and so I'll have to rethink that. But it was nice of Rito to send me that.
Absolutely.
So I have a question for you, Matthew, or possibly for the audience. I'm not sure if you'll be able to answer it or not. Something I've been thinking about. What is a fine art print? Like, I see people, because I'm selling prints now, so I'm looking at other people's prints, and there's a local place in Burleigh and they sell prints, and I messaged them, and they said, oh, we'll get back to you soon, and that's fine, like, they're busy. But I noticed that they specify that they sell fine art prints. So I'm like, oh, where does that leave me? Kind of like what we were talking about with the themes. When the theme is this and it sounds really arty, and sometimes I get really like worried about that, because I'm like, oh, I don't really know what that means. But I'm worried, like, I'm wondering, not worried, I'm wondering what constitutes as fine art. I know a lot of people in Melbourne I was friends with were doing fine art degrees, and I always thought, what's that? Like, what does that mean really? And those things that you wonder about and you don't ask anyone, and you just continue wondering it. So I thought, hey, I'll just put it out there and ask you, what constitutes fine art or a fine art print?
That's a good question. I think in terms of In terms of the actual print itself, I think, obviously the fine art prints, they'll typically say they're on a certain, cotton rag or something. They're on very high
Okay.
materials,
Yep.
a very, ink that will last, 100 years on the rag, a cotton rag. I don't know what it's called, a paper
Yeah, I've seen that
rag it's
cotton
called. Yeah,
rag
yeah, yeah,
written
yeah.
before, and I've always been like, what
Yeah.
does that mean?
So I think it's like a paper it's not just normal paper that biodegrades. It's kind of paper. I don't know much about this myself, full
Yep.
disclosure, but it's a kind of paper that will last a long time. That's
Okay.
archival. That you can have an image printed on that, and you can have it framed, and it will last for 100 years for your children and their children. So I
Okay.
think a fine art print to me is two things. And again, I'm not an expert, but I think it's obviously a print that is excellent quality in terms of the paper and the frame and all that kind of stuff. And it
Okay.
will last a long time, and it'll be something that your family will cherish. But also, I think when people say they're fine art photographers, I think it's quite often it's very kind of, I don't know, to me it brings to mind sort of very minimalistic, black and white kind of photos.
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
Very
Yep.
minimalistic, and
Yep.
it could be of something like wildlife or a scene or a landscape scene, but it's not your typical landscape photography shot or your typical portrait or anything. It's very, I don't know, minimalistic, very good lighting. And there are certain photographers who say they're fine art photographers.
Okay.
But that's about as much as I know.
Okay. All right. Well, you know a whole lot more than I do. So thank you for that. But I'm sure people listening might do this type of photography. They might sell fine art prints. They might know a little bit more about it, so they can comment and they can let me know and shed some light on that. But yeah, that kind of sounds like I kind of thought that. I was like, obviously this term means that, somebody's taking a lot of care, or it's of higher quality with the print side of things. And that makes sense. Like, because some of the things I've looked at, I'm like, wow, that's really expensive. But obviously, like you're saying, if the what they're printing on is really good quality and it's going to last for sure, that makes sense. Because I literally know nothing about printing, and I'm using a service where they use like a third party person to print near to the person that's buying the print, so it's cheaper. So it's not me printing it in Australia and sending it overseas, which is normally where they're being sold, and it's really expensive, which works for me as well, because I don't have to, I don't have much time, and I can't just go out and, go print a print. Like so this works for me, and I can also make them cheaper. Like you can set the price and it's really good. So it works for me. But I know that there's a whole world of printing, and that's a whole nother side of kind of photography. And so, yeah, I've been thinking about it lately and wondering, and as far as the photography goes, I remember I did have a question on my YouTube channel. Somebody said, would you ever consider exploring fine art photography? And I was like, I don't really know kind of like what that means or what that entails. And it doesn't sound like something I would be doing, because I'm very sort of, I don't know what the word is, Matt, but I'm just like casual, I guess, about, like I don't like anything to be sort of too like hoity toity, or, like I just like to sort of get in there and do it. And that's what works for me and like suits my style. So,
well, I think that's it. I think, I guess in a way what I'm hearing is perhaps you're looking at avenues for you to fit into a genre of something which you may love or you may not love, or do you just keep doing what you love doing? If you're doing well at it, do you have to fit into that particular genre or that? I certainly think you would benefit from looking at the different types of printing. There's certainly some very good printers here in Australia that print on all those really nice papers and stuff like that. And it would be a cool exercise to look into that and get some of your favorite shots done up as those kind of prints, and compare them to other prints and see
the difference.
What difference there is.
Because it's probably one of those sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. It's probably one of those things where you see it and then you're sold. Like an analogy I can make is like if you buy like, I don't know, like I always used to just buy like cheap, like the cheap butter, and then I bought like Lurpak butter one time.
So a cheap toilet roll.
Well, probably same analogy can be made for that too. And then I bought like the more expensive butter, and I was like, oh, it's delicious. So then I'm like, oh, I have to have that now. But if I hadn't tried it, I would have been fine with the other thing. So it's kind of like, it's probably like that. It's probably like seeing the fine art one would make you be like, oh wow, so I really want this. And
it's a bit like that saying, life's too short for drink cheap wine, or something like that. The saying is, yes,
exactly, definitely. So it's kind of like that. But yeah, I've been thinking about it as well, because like close by to me, about 5 minutes away, there's a vintage like, or second hand, I'd probably call it more a second hand shop. That's just opened by these like two girls, and I have a bunch of clothes, because I used to have like a Depop shop
Oh yeah.
selling like, you know, vintagey kind of clothes and stuff. So I said this to you the other day when you talk about how you need to shift some cameras.
Yeah.
Get, you know, I need to sell some camera, make some room. And I'm like that with clothes. There's just so many. So I used to do that before I fell pregnant, and then it became too much. So I stopped doing it. So I thought I need to get rid of these. And I went into this shop, and the lady said, "Oh, I'm happy to take like heaps of this stuff on consignment." So
excellent.
I was like, awesome. That's really cool. And
you get the money when they sell it?
Yeah, you get like half. And I thought, oh, this is awesome. You know, suits me. I don't have to do anything like on Depop. You've got to kind of be involved.
Yeah.
So she, and she was really nice. Then we started talking, and I love how like one thing can lead to another. And I followed her on Instagram. She followed me, and she looked at my print shop on Darkroom, and she messaged me, and she was like, "Oh my God, your photos are amazing." It was the black and white ones. And I was like, "Oh, thanks." You know, it's always nice to hear. And I said, "I normally shoot color," but she was like, "I love these like black and white ones."
Yeah.
And she said, do you want to sell them in the shop? And I was like, oh, like, so I went with clothes, never thinking like, I'm not a person that would take my photography into like a shop and think that people would want to, I've never viewed my photography like that sort of way. So, so I was like really surprised, and I thought, oh, that's really cool. So I've got some frames from the op shop that me and my mum are painting, like rubbing down and painting.
Yep.
And then my dad is really handy, so he's making some frames as well.
Awesome.
So I'm working out printing, how do I print my photos? Like what's the most economical way to do it, but I still want it to be good quality.
Yeah.
What are people going to buy? Like, what do people like? Because are people going to buy them I think what a photographer would buy and what a non-photographer person that just wanted something on their wall, it's totally different. So so that's been really interesting too, to look at things and be like, what will people sort of gravitate towards? So it's really exciting. Yeah.
Excellent. That's great news. It could be like it. To me, the 80-20 rule sort of comes into it, or is it the 20-80 rule or the 80-20 rule? But I sell my digital photos as stock for photos.
Yep.
And out of all the photos I ever upload, only about 20% ever sell. Yeah. And they make up, and there's a certain few that make up 80% of the money. And you're always surprised. You upload a photo and you think, oh, this one's going to sell for sure. This is a great shot of this, that, or the other. It never sells, or it might sell one. And then other photos, you think, oh, that'll never sell. I'll just upload that because it'll sell a million times. It's a weird thing. Like trying to anticipate what people are going to like and what people don't like, and anticipate that demand. It's really suck it and see, as they say. Just put it out there and see what it's like. And
you got to just throw it at the wall and see what sticks. Or whatever. Well, I don't know how many more sayings we can come up with here for this one. Yeah. It's funny. It's the same with the darkroom, because I change it every month. So I'm like, okay, I have a theme, and like this month was red, and I have a lot of photos. So I was like, okay, I've got to cut this down a bit. And there was one, I was doing it with Lux because he always helps me. Yeah. And there was one of a trolley, and there was some red in the image, and I love that image. And he was like, are people like, is anyone really going to want to hang like a picture of a trolley like on their wall? Like, he was like, really? And I was like, well, I can think of two people that probably would. And I put it in the description of the photo, actually, is Photo Dudens, like Matthew Joseph loves a trolley, and Fox Fins, like Melissa loves a trolley. So they don't have to buy it, but I was like, you're trolley kind of people. So I'm sure there's more of you out there. So we'll see how that one goes. It hasn't sold yet. Some of the other ones that are a bit more like aesthetic, commercially appealing. But we'll see. What's funny? It's interesting.
It's funny how you get that in your mind, because I was up when I was up at Noosa. Actually, I was up at Maroochydore, and I got a coffee in the morning. I just snapped these beautiful photos of my Contax T3 that I feature in my 4th video, ADOX color mission on point and shoots. Yes. But I went to this cafe, and there's beautiful ferns and the beautiful light coming through. So I just snapped these 3 photos, and I walked around the corner on the way back to where we were staying, and there was just like in front of this shop in the sun, there was just someone had just dumped fish and chips there the night before. So there's all these chips everywhere.
Oh my God, yeah.
And so I took a photo, and I put up an Instagram story, and I said to Matthew Joseph, Photo Dunes, I said, saw this and thought of you. And so he thought that was hilarious. He thought that was hilarious. I said, it's exactly the kind of thing you take a photo of on film. Fish and chips just chucked all over the pavement, Yep, 100%.
So that's so him. I see things a lot, actually, and think of him, like photography wise. Like, I'm like, oh, that's a real him scene. And it's good to have a distinguishable style like that. Yeah. Absolutely. Awesome. Okay, well, thank you for answering my question. We will be taking listener questions in the future of this. So, this is going to be a monthly catch up YouTube podcast with us, and we'll be taking listener questions. So I'll probably pop something on YouTube for people to comment on, and then we'll both put it up on Instagram as well on our stories, so people can send in. If you want help or advice, we can help you out there. Or if you just have a question for one of us, we'll try and help you anyway.
I heard that you're an expert on depth of field preview.
Oh, God. Any technical questions will be going straight over to Matt Loves Cameras.
That was actually a joke, because when we were planning this, I'd mentioned that on I Dream of Cameras, their depth of field preview discussion about that had got a lot of mileage. And I didn't mean for it to be a discussion topic for us, because I Dream of Cameras have already done it. But I think I wasn't very articulate. And I think Lucy Lumen thought that I'd be coming on and going, well, I like to use my depth of field preview.
Oh, yeah. I was like, Matt, like, so, no, that is. I
think I was about to be canned from the podcast, from the YouTube, wasn't I?
I'm going to find someone else. No, that was funny. And then right after you said that, we were walking around taking photos, and Lux was like talking about the depth of field preview on some camera, and I was like, oh, I just walked away. I was like, I'm walking away.
Just don't.
Yeah, don't even. I don't want to talk about that. I have very niche interests in photography, and they're not those ones.
Yeah.
Yes, no, but I'm glad that we're doing this. It's really nice to be able to chat with you. We chat all the time, and I'm interested to see what people will say, and interested to hear the feedback. So
yeah, absolutely.
Definitely comment below. Let us know what you think. If you have any suggestions or things you'd like us to cover, please let us know. I love engaging with the community, and so do you, Matt. And
hopefully in the future we might be able to go live together. This will truly be live, hopefully.
Yes, yeah. I'm hoping we've got this new setup here in the studio, and I'm going to do some live streams on my channel, but YouTube are going to be bringing out this new thing called Go Live Together. So 2 channels can go live together. And which is really exciting, because then you can be on your channel, I can be on my channel. And that's like, that'll be really cool. And then we can kind of interact with people as we're going. So we can just be chatting, and the comments can be popping up. Need to ask Hashem how that works, because I tried to do it last night. We did a little dummy run. So I was in here, and Lux went into the bedroom, and then he was like commenting like he was, typing, and it was coming up, but I was sort of struggling to navigate it all. So I'll have to do a little bit more research, and I'll definitely be hitting up Hashem for some tips on how to do that. But that will be, really cool. And then we can maybe do it more than once a month, or we'll see how it goes and see what the response is, for sure. So we have a quick fire round, and I think we're going to alternate that each episode. So I'm going to quick fire you, and then next month it'll be switched around. You're fired. Yes,
I'm going to try my best. I'm going to try my best to answer quickly, because when I do these in my podcast, I don't hate when people, it annoys me when people take a long time.
I know what you mean.
And they talk it through.
Because you're like, you got to go, like the pressure's on. Yeah.
But then I think when you did it to me, I took a long time. So I know. Yeah.
And I say that. And then when I go on someone's, I do the same thing. Yeah. And also on my podcast, when I ask people them, I insist on answering them as well.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's not supposed to be about me. It's supposed to be about you. So
yours go for about half an hour.
Oh yeah, I know. It ends up turning into this like bloated thing. It's so hard with I think it's really hard to make something, but anyway.
Okay.
So quick fire. So Cinestill 400D or Cinestill 800T now that you've shot.
I've never shot a good roll of 800T. Probably my fault, so I'll go 400.
Okay, interesting. Modern or retro?
It depends. Talking houses, I'll go modern, but otherwise I'll go retro.
Okay. Yeah. That's a really good answer, because you can always get retro things to put in your house.
That's correct.
But if you've got like an old, like I've lived in heaps of like old houses in Melbourne, and they look really cool. Like I love like wallpaper and like all that kind of stuff. But then you live in it and it's dusty, and it's everything's going wrong. It's just a nightmare. So okay, Fortnite or Mario Kart, or like any of those?
Oh, I love a bit of Mario, but I've got to go Fortnite.
Really? You choose that over? I mean, I've never played Fortnite, so I don't know, but
I always play. My son's got over 100. There's a thing called a skin. You play as a character. It could be a girl or a boy or an animal. And I always play as the same skin all the time. It's a monkey. It's like a sock monkey. Okay. And I'm very excited because they just brought out a new style. So I got this for free. It's a new style to my monkey. He's got like the Fair Isle jumpers. Have you heard of a Fair Isle jumper?
Yes. Yeah.
So it's a sock monkey in a Fair Isle jumper. That's it.
Wow.
I don't know why. So Fortnite.
Yeah, it's so weird to me. Like our friends, like their kids play it, and they were talking about it like quite a while ago now. And I was just like, what? And they were trying to explain it to me and they were getting really annoyed because I didn't know what they were talking about. So
you basically land on an island and you try and kill each other, and the last person on the island alive wins. That's it. But my son he's super into it, and like he said to me, Dad, what time is 4 p.m. ET? And I'm like, well, ET, I think that's like New York, man. Like 4 p.m. We worked it out. 6 a.m. And so we worked out we had to get up at 5:30 on a Sunday for this live event.
Yeah.
So that's how much. Yeah. And I said to him, oh, did you think it was worth getting up at 5:30? He went, oh yeah, it was brilliant. I'm like, it wasn't that good. It was a bit crap if you ask me, but he enjoyed it. So that made it all worthwhile.
Yeah, that's nice for you. Yeah. And it's nice for you guys to do that together.
Like, yeah.
You know, that you're not being resistant. You're like, oh yeah, you enjoy this. So it sounds like you enjoy it too now. So I would definitely, I like Mario Kart. That's probably one of the only things I can play. And we got the new Switch Sports.
Oh
yeah, which is really cool, really good. And I was like, I don't really want to play, and then I got so into the tennis.
What sports are on there? Oh, tennis.
Like tennis, bowling.
Oh, it's like the old Wii Sports.
Yeah, similar to Wii Sports. Yeah,
updated.
But I just got like flogged in every. You know, because Lux is really good at sport and like played a lot of sports when he was young. So he's really good. He's really coordinated.
And you're Unco.
I'm so Unco. And I was right up to the TV. He was like, you're like going to hit the TV, because I was trying to get the ball like in the TV. It just, terrible.
Might have to buy that.
Yeah, no, it's really fun though. Definitely fun. Documentary or movie, like feature movie?
I like both, but I'll go movie.
Yeah, I think I'd probably go movie too, because you don't always feel like a documentary. But I do like documentaries as well. See, I'm answering. I'm answering.
That's all right.
I have this. This is not a quick fire question, and I don't know why I put it here. I'm going to tease it, and we'll talk about it in the next episode of Analog Hour. It's which is your favorite Canon point and shoot, which I feel like is a huge question, and I actually have all of my Canon, like all my Canon point and shoots lined up here.
I got a couple here within reach.
Like, you know. So I think we should save that for next time.
Another one here. I got at least three right here.
Yeah, I've got 6. So quite a few. And I have lots to say about that. So we'll save that for next time. You can think about that one.
Actually, I've got one coming soon. I've got a new video coming out soon called. My wife just recently went back to the UK, as you know. Yes, and when she was over there, I got her to get me a few cameras, and I actually got this one in its nice little pouch here. I haven't used it yet. Very excited to use it. It's the Sure Shot Sleek. So it's like a Mew-looking camera.
Hold on, is that?
I think it's also the Prima 2 or something.
No, it's different to what
have you got? That's a different one. Yeah, I've had that one.
Yeah,
I had that one and sold it.
We got this one in Salvos. It was I think it was $55.
Wow.
I know, which I thought was pretty steep, but it.
Well, our American friends are going, $55 for that. Get that at $5 at the Goodwill.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. All right. Oh well, I'm excited to have this Canon.
Cameras are, as I'll touch upon in my upcoming UK pickups video. Secondhand cameras in Australia are. Even when you convert them to US dollars or pounds or euros, they're more expensive than other countries. I think we just don't have the volume of them here, and we have a lot of film photographers. So their prices, if other photographers came to Australia, they'd probably think our cameras are really expensive. Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. And even, I think that goes for a lot of things too. Like, I don't know how it is now, but like my family are from the UK, and when I was there, which it was, over 10 years ago now, but when I was going into the charity shops, like everything was so cheap, like 50p or, like really cheap. And I was finding all these cool things and all these cool, like, what I would consider like, retro kitchenware or all this other stuff. But it's because there's so much more there. Whereas here we don't have, the population and the stuff. So
and things spread out more the population.
Yeah. So it's harder to find. And that's definitely, definitely the reason for it. Okay, well, definitely we'll talk about the Canon point and shoots next time. Fuji C200 or Kodak Color Plus 200? Which do you prefer?
I've shot. It's funny. I've got this thing in my mind that I don't like Color Plus, and then, funnily enough, when I had looked through the rolls of Color Plus I actually really like it. So I think I would go C200, but I think for some reason I've given Color Plus like a D grade in my mind, but I think that's unfair.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Yeah. I love Color Plus.
Yeah.
Like I was an avid C200 shooter, and then it sort of, it was difficult to find. So I went over to bought bricks of Color Plus because it was cheaper. And just, I love like I love Colour+ so much.
That's hard to find though, isn't it, at the moment, or is it not?
No, it's really hard to find. Yeah, I've got like 3 or 4 rolls left, and I keep checking walk-ins because they sell bricks and they're just like sold out. So I'm on the wait list, and now it's not as cheap as it used to be. So it's like, you know, like that was quite an affordable film for
absolutely it
me
was,
to shoot, like, and shoot a lot of. So, but anyway, I won't complain. Marketplace or eBay, even though we kind of said before you're not really a fan of either. You got to go eBay.
Got to go eBay, yeah, for sure. Because anytime you want to, like, a lot of the camera models that I want, they're not that common in Australia. So, for example, a camera that I actually featured in my 5 Fujifilm cameras, which they bring back.
Yeah, great.
I actually got this. Oh, hang on, it's around the wrong way. Here it is. Here. So it's actually the Fuji.
So cool,
what's it called? Fuji DL 200. It's actually a beautiful cosmetic condition. It's a really kind of weird camera. It's kind of heavy, but you just don't find these in Australia. So I have to go to eBay all the time to get what I want. So yeah, I go eBay.
Yeah,
you got to pay the price. You got to pay the price.
Yeah, exactly. And you've got a bit more security with eBay.
Yeah, if it doesn't work,
as well. And the eBay tend to favor the buyer.
It's like that weather. It's like that Weathermatic. You know, I had a quick look at it and I bought it, but I never went back to the guy and went, "Hey, mate, this is completely full of corrosion," because I got a job lot of them for $100 or something, and that was in there. And I thought I got a bargain, but in the end, I didn't. I ended up selling some of the cameras and making my money back, but in Marketplace, it unless they say in the ad it's completely working, you know, what recourse do you have? And I'm not the kind of person who'd go back and make a fuss necessarily, you know what I mean? Like, so 100%. It's hard, isn't it?
It is hard. I think eBay definitely, for sure. Okay, DIY or outsource?
What's DIY mean? Like do it yourself?
Yeah, like do it yourself, like just generally for things. Like are you like, I can do that myself, like I'll fix that, or I'll do that, or I'll figure out how to do it, or are you like, I'm gonna outsource that and get someone else to do it?
A bit of both. Like, so for example, I really enjoy the creative side of making the videos themselves. So I can't afford, and I don't have a crew behind me to do that.
Don't have a Lux Lumen behind you.
Don't have a Lux Lumen in my pocket. No, definitely not. But certainly things like film development, I guess I'm kind of time poor, and so the time that I do have, I want to either be out there shooting or creating content about photography. So I can't be bothered with, I mean, I've got a scanner here that costs a few $100s. So I just can't be bothered developing my own film and scanning it. I hate scanning. So I just rather send it to the lab. They do it. They're professionals. They do it for a living. They do a great job.
I know.
So it's worth the money.
And they're all set up and they've got a workflow and it just makes sense. It's like more efficient. And then you're
do the contact sheets.
Yes. Yeah.
How good are the contact sheets from Ikagai?
I don't think I haven't had one before.
I'll
have to. I have on your when we did
Ektar.
that. Yes. Yeah. Actually, that was my first one. Yes.
There you go. You never forget your first contact sheet.
Oh dear. Okay. All right. Last one is YouTube or podcast, but as a creator.
I think I'm really getting into YouTube now. I think it's easy to show. Like in the podcast, I've become so good at explaining photos because you have to, because you haven't got the visual aid of showing people. And quite often I'll do a companion page on, you know, for example, when I run these competitions on my podcast, I'll have a competition page and say, you know, you can follow along at home, look at the photos as we go down, we'll read them out in the order. And then I look at the analytics of people who've actually watched. I'll get like 400 in the first week. I'll get 400 downloads of the podcast. I go, oh, that's great. I'm going to go to the web page now. There must be like, you know, at least 150, 200 people who've looked at that page, and you go on and there's like 60 views of the page.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people, because they're listening or they're mowing the lawn or they're driving,
100%.
They can't get the page up. So they just listen and they don't necessarily even go to your website to check out the photos. So I think based on all that, I really enjoying I think I'm actually getting more of my photography out there now with YouTube, because I don't post to Instagram very often.
Yep.
And so I feel like more people are seeing my photography now than ever, you know?
Totally. I think totally. That's what I feel like with mine. Cause I was like, I've said this before, but I'll say it again, like on Instagram, like I used to post and I had like, you know, I don't know, 200 or 300 followers or something. Not that it matters, but you know, felt like it was just going into the abyss, and you know, no one's really paying attention to it. And I didn't know what to do with my photography really. And that was my only creative like, you know, I'm not good at like anything else really. So like YouTube, I'm like, cool, I can make this like video and I can share my photos and I can talk about them. So it's not just like the photograph on its like face value. It's also you explaining why, because there's
Yeah.
often so many reasons, or there's an emotion, or I
Mm.
don't know, or it didn't work out, and you can kind of like say why it didn't, or,
Yeah.
you know, and you're like assessing it as well because you're making the video. So it's this whole like process around it. And I really
Yeah.
like encourage people to do it, even if you only get like a small following, because
Yeah.
you will reach people. I feel like it's a lot easier to reach people on YouTube than it is on any other platform for
Sure.
photography. So in a way, I feel like creating a YouTube channel, even though it's a lot of work, is really the best thing for your photography, really. And it's the best platform. We're always talking about what's the best photo sharing platform.
Yeah.
In my admittedly biased opinion, it would be YouTube. And like, look at the comments, like your Cinestill video, like people were commenting, because they're like amazing. Like that roll was so good. And it was so fun reading the comments from everybody. And I was thinking, oh, that must be so good for you because you do podcasts.
That's
nobody
the weird thing.
can comment on a podcast. So I'm always like wanting someone to DM me, because I'm like, was it okay?
Yeah.
Like, what did you think? Like,
that's the weird thing coming from podcasting to YouTube is, like, some of my videos have had, they've had 50, 60 comments, but I guess half of them are my replies. So they've had like 25, 30 comments. That's the weirdest thing about YouTube, is that people comment. And with a podcast, you put a podcast out there and you might get a couple of emails or a couple of DMs or a couple of people reply to stories about it. But I might get a dozen per episode maybe. Whereas with the YouTube videos, it's like all these comments, and it's lovely, but it's kind of weird. It's kind of, oh my gosh, people have commented. Like,
it's nice. It's really nice to have that like engagement. And people are very inclined to do that, like on there, like, you know, like it's built for that. So I think it's really good, and you can build a really nice community like on there, which I'm sure you will do and you'll continue to do. So I'm really glad that you've like had a good experience for some reason I feel like YouTube is my like responsibility for like everyone to love YouTube, or you know what I mean? Like I feel very like close to it as a platform more than anything else, because it's offered me so much. So okay, all right, well, I'm excited for your quick fire round next time. And
we've got the camera fair next month, hey?
Yes, we do. Camera fair next month.
3rd of July.
3rd of July. Yes, we do. And I've got quite a few podcast interviews lined up. And I think we're both going on Classic Camera Revival. Pretty soon.
I think Bill wanted to do that on the 3rd of July, which is the same morning of the camera fair. And I think Bill's going to come back. Bill Smith's going to come back with a new date.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I'm really excited about that. It'll be fun to chat with those guys. And we've both got like so much coming up. So watch these spaces. And where can everybody find you, Matt, in case they don't know by now?
Well, if you search in Matt Loves Cameras in YouTube, or go to youtube.com/Matt Loves Cameras. I'm sorry, my throat is getting.
You got a frog.
It's getting froggier than Kermit.
Yeah.
So youtube.com/Matt Loves Cameras.
Yeah, nice one. Awesome. And I will link everything below in the description box of like everything that you do and our Instagrams and stuff, so people can jump over and say hello. Definitely check out Matt's videos, and don't forget to like and subscribe, give him a comment, because it's so nice for him to get that kind of engagement on YouTube. So and if you want to see Cinestill 400D in action, because there aren't really many videos, and the few videos I've seen are like the bigger names who have been given the film, which is fine, like that's fine, but it's nice to see it just in the wild, somebody.
And those push shots shot at ISO 1600 push 2 stops look fantastic. I like them more than the box speed shots.
Okay, and that video is out now as well?
Video is out, I scheduled it last night for this morning, so it's out already.
Perfect. I haven't watched that yet, so I'm going to go. I'll probably watch it
tonight. You're slacking.
I know. Well, I was busy. I was like getting ready for this, because normally with the podcast I'm in my like pajamas, because there's no video. So I was like, oh God, I've got to get ready. And we've got this X-T4 set up and stuff. So it's good, but I'll definitely be watching that tonight, and I'll be commenting. You'll have a comment from Lucy Lumen. Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Matt, for joining me on the pilot episode of Analog Hour, and we'll see you guys all next time.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Bye.
All right, take care. See you, Matt. Bye.